year, survivor Wendell Eversley walks fast and calls on the nation to remember the 1990 attempted coup. Since the death of former President and Prime Minister Arthur Robinson in 2014, Eversley has been walking in Tobago to the gravesite, hoping to raise awareness of the significance of one of the country's darkest moments. Many times he did this alone, and other times he was joined by various politicians. But today he was joined by over a dozen people, including one of Robinson's relatives, the most since he has been doing it. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
Following Anr Robinson's death in 2014, Wendell Eversley began paying his respects to the former president and prime minister for his bravery and patriotism during the 1990 attempted coup. Just 20 years old at the time, Eversley was in Parliament on July 27, 1990, during a sitting when it was stormed by Muslim insurrectionists. He was beaten and witnessed attacks on parliamentarians and laymen.
Brought back in the main chamber, drag a woman, not lift up, and drag a woman, brought her in front of me. Watch her bleed to death. Blood coming out her mouth, side of her belly.
The lady was Parliament Clerk Lorraine Caballero. Eversley also witnessed Robinson stand up to the insurrectionists yelling, "Attack with full force," to the army, for which he suffered a shot in his leg. It changed his life. And every year on the anniversary of the coup, he calls for the country to remember this act of bravery.
This was an attack on the people of Trinidad and Tobago, an attack on our democracy. It was an attack on our parliament, the highest court of the land. Why are we failing in our duty? This is our history, but they want us to read about American history.
Although politicians like Ansel Dennis, Kelvin Morris, and Watson Duke have joined him over the years, Eversley remains disappointed that several administrations of the THA have not stood with him in remembrance.
Do you all know every single year I come to Tobago, I deliver a letter to the Chief Secretary, I deliver a letter to the Minority Leader, I deliver a letter to the Presiding Officer. I know it's the most hurtful thing. They don't even give you an acknowledgement.
However, this year he was joined by the political leader of the IDA, Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus, who stated that Robinson's heroic efforts during the attempted coup must be remembered for 3 reasons.
Is the resilience of our people. The next is for justice. He was passionate about justice. And lastly, about prosperity of our people.
Eversley was also joined by Robinson's nephew, Ellis Robinson. He noted that his uncle at the time was trying to fix the economy of the nation, but his efforts were misunderstood and led to the events of 1990.
And to any succeeding government, that is something you need to study. Because if you don't understand what fell down there, then you could very well make that same mistake. And this time, as we are saying, it's going to be worse.
The Council of Orisha Elders, Tobago Division, also stood with Eversley. They referred to Robertson as Chief Olokun Igbaro, and Membership Officer Awo Olafin prayed for his legacy to not be forgotten.
I pray and I demand that as we move forward, that the knowledge, the essence of this title that he received will be taught in our schools, will be taught at our community centers.
Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.